Hey everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome to this edition of the Beacon Light. I've been having a lot of conversations with people about aging, and I think that's because I'm aging, and I think it's also because I've been in a lot of conversations about my parents. And when I have those conversations with people, they often say, I want to grow old gracefully, by which I think they mean not just how we look, of course, we all want to look good as we grow older, but how we are in our hearts and minds. Are we able to be flexible? Are we able to let things go? Are we able to face the challenges of aging with grace? And I remind them, or I remind myself, that growing old gracefully doesn't just happen. We have to practice it. As people who are growing, we can either get stuck in who we are, or we stick with the process of becoming new people, of being changed and shaped by God always. And institutions are the same. The church is the same. We can get stuck, or we can stick with the process of becoming new. And frankly, I think it's even harder for institutions to navigate this process because we're made up of a whole bunch of people, and we all have our own personalities and preferences and ways of being, and we have to try to come together to listen to God and ask repeatedly, God, who are we and who do you want us to become together as we age? I was reflecting today on something Richard Rohr talks about, which is being in the belly of the whale. When people ask Jesus for a sign, how do we know that you are who you say you are? He gives them the sign of Jonah. Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 3 days. And it's perhaps one of the most overlooked stories we have, because taken literally, which I don't intend, it is ridiculous. And so we lose sight of the important metaphor that's contained in that story. Jesus, of course, is pointing ahead to the time in between his death and resurrection, when for 3 days he is in the grave, and when he emerges, he is new creation. And we also have that opportunity to spend time in the belly of the whale. And for me, that's a metaphor of spending time in the hands of God to be shaped and transformed. That's how we become new, and that's how we grow old, both as institutions and as people, gracefully and graciously. We can't spend all of our time there, but there are seasons that we spend there, and this is one of those seasons for the church. At session last night, we had a robust conversation about the reality that we simply do not have enough session leadership for all of our committees. And so we made some decisions. One of those decisions is that we would have a combined education committee. Prior to last night, we had 3 education committees, one for adults, one for youth, and one for children. Our two leaders for youth and children agreed that they would work together with whomever would like to have one education community. And so in that process, we will be rethinking Adult Forum as well. We began that on January 8th when we had a conversation about what people are hoping for in education at the church. And this new committee will work with me and with Allison, and we will continue to think about that question and try some new things and experiment and new times maybe for education. In order to accommodate the new committee and the conversation we are having, we are pausing Adult Forum for February. So beginning in February, there will be no Adult Forum. There may well be education at other times. We don't know yet. We'll be figuring that out. And so you can watch the Beacon Light and also the bulletin for any announcements. But I'm excited by this time of experimenting. I am grateful for a session that is courageously committed to asking questions and examining systems and taking a good look at who we are, which is wonderful and great, and also asking God, who do you see us becoming as we go through this transitional time? So we ask that you stick with us. We ask for not only your patience, but also your presence. You have a role to play in this too, simply by being present, by taking part in whatever in our experiments, and when you have the opportunity, which you will, to share your voice and to do it graciously. So it's an exciting time, and I'm glad to be doing it with you, and I'm glad for the decisions that session is making, and there will be more. So thanks a lot for listening today, and I'll see you next week. Bye.